What did you learn from your first girlfriend?
People are not always who they seem to be.
Actions are more important than words. Someone can say they are moving their life in a healthy direction, but if their actions say otherwise, that is what you need to listen to.
Parents can really their kids.
Heartbreak that felt like the end of the world.
You can't keep giving someone the benefit of the doubt when they get all the benefits and you get all the doubts.
Honestly, almost everything. Between her and her family, I got my first experience of real parenting and an honest view of how the world works, versus my mom's narcissistic complex. I wouldn't be the same person I am today without having known her and her parents.
I don't need to be with just anybody for the sake of being with somebody.
Never be with an immature and emotionally unstable person.
Alone time is just as important to a relationship as time spent together.
Non-parental love. That girl loved me and I loved her, but obviously we were both young adults. To this day, I still don't know if it's just harder to love that intensely as you get older or if it's because I haven't found another woman that could love like she did. Women can be heartless and cruel too.
If she wants to cheat, she's going to cheat. No need in being a jealous boyfriend. Does no good and makes you a psycho.
There aren't that many fish in the sea. It may take many years to find that special someone again. So don't take people for granted.
That some chicks are careless around the balls. She was a cool chick but accidentally hit my balls a few times. Now I wonder if she's into CBT. If you don't know, don't Google Pornhub that.
First, how they can wreck you emotionally, haha. In my 30s dating other 30-year-olds, girls be bruh, like it's tough to keep up. 30-year-old is not 18-year-old. Where were you when I was horned up teen?
Don't invest time in her if her friends are toxic.
Realize when emotional abuse is happening, and don't think you need to stay just because you don't want to be alone.
She taught me that someone would accept me, when I wasn't sure if anyone would. We are still friends, only talk occasionally, to this day.
To grow up.
In retrospect, that she was just as scared and clueless as I was. We were both just acting cool and we acted ourselves out of any real connection.
If you have to constantly ask yourself why you love them and constantly try to convince yourself you do, chances are you don't love them romantically.
Methodist girls will you if you act like a Methodist.
Nobody should ever try to control someone else in a relationship. You shouldn't try to convince them to do what you want them to do or vice versa. If you can't accept who they are as they are, then let them go.
Mental illness is devastating to the one suffering it and to all those who love them.
That ed for girls forgets to mention balls asterisk.
That if you find the right one, life is better. My HS girlfriend is happily married, as am I, yet we remain friends 45 years later. I have been very fortunate in my love life.
That I love on and some girls love having it done. My ex-wife proved the point of some.
That I still have a lot to learn.
That being in a relationship should be difficult. That and how to perform on a woman. Every guy needs that one woman to give him lessons.
That when your girlfriend spends all her time talking about her female celebrity crushes, she just might be a lesbian.
The importance of communication and boundaries. Techniques that served me well with various other partners. I could not date a bitchy vegetarian. People can be a complex minefield of personality defects, psychological crises, absurdist beliefs, and still somehow be likable enough they can work their way into your heart. Thou shalt not fall in love so easily.
That I was.
If she cheated on you, leave. She will do it over and over again if she did it once.
Everything. How women want to be treated romantically. Bedroom maneuvers I still use today, almost 30 years later. How to buy appropriate gifts for another. How to engage and talk with a woman's parents. How to be cheated on. How to forgive. How to realize you are a fool. How to say goodbye and how to secure closure with yourself after being used and manipulated for years. Good stuff. How to get a girl off. She was very sciencey and I was her first boyfriend, so it was a fun journey of experimenting together.
Girls wanna just as much as boys.
When a woman says I love you, she means it in the moment. The minute her feelings change, everything she found annoying about you gets pushed to the surface. That I love you means nothing in the future if she loses interest.
Long distance isn't worth it if it's more than a month.
That a girl's, I love you, and a man's, I love you, means something entirely my experience. When I or one of my good friends tells a girl I love you, we will go through and back again for her. It means we're fully committed, and we're going to fight through bad times whatever it takes. As for I experienced something really I get this is generalizing. I get that not all girls are like my ex. But I know more girls like her. A male's love is more unconditional than a female's, and the next time a girl tells me she loves me, I'ma keep calm and take it with a grain of salt. I'ma wait for her actions to speak, to confirm or deny her words.
Even after many, many years, I have a little phrase I use when I hear up things. Well, you can never really know a person.
This can sometimes be known as, I fell in love with the idea of a person and not who they.
Yeah, she seemed really lovely, but in hindsight everything I didn't know about her was populated with my optimistic ideals of how the perfect girl would be. So I was gradually disappointed to find she was actually not a great catch at all.
Oh Jesus, yes. I wasn't perfect myself for my first by any means, but they were the most frustrating person in the asked for communication for way longer than I should have. There's only so much I'm trying to be had.
This really needs to be closer to the top.
I'm a woman and can attest to this because I was that girlfriend. It's easy to talk a good game regardless of gender, but this struck home for me and now I'm wondering if Whiteside 1121 was my ex-boyfriend. Open mouth smile, open mouth smile, open mouth smile, open mouth smile.
This was my experience as well. She was really a great person, but her dad had walked out when she was a baby and she did everything to make me happy. It was a learning experience having someone who put my interests well above hers.
This guy is cookin', hooray hooray.
Assume best intentions, that this world is full of bad faith actors and narcissists and dark entities. Protect your heart and your neck.
Wow bro, this sums up my story entirely. First breakup was almost 2 years ago now, and all I can say is she taught me so much and I am thankful to have met her.
My wife very similar to my first GFS mom. She showed me what a loving family is. What it is to actually care and listen. Ms. Vincent, you will never know how profound of an impact you have had in my life.
Man, this hit. I have never had a girlfriend.
Pretty much the same. We dated for like 2 months. She was hot, and she thought I was cute, but there was basically nothing else in common. I was mostly just excited to have a girlfriend, and it took me a bit to realize I don't actually like her very much. She had a child a few months after high school graduation. I was still 17 at that time, and I am so glad that kid isn't mine. He will turn 17 this summer.
Yeah, especially if you're a healthy one, that would be a worse combination.
As a former immature and emotionally unstable person, agree. My apologies to all the great women who dated me.
My soul is still learning this. Love her to bits, but I need time to me sometimes.
In your first love, nothing is held back. You love them without knowing heartbreak. They give you things you've never had before. Of course, this is going to be a stronger emotion than later loves. After the first one, you're always going to be slightly worn down. Slightly less wholeheartedly open with your partner. It doesn't make it any less meaningful. Love becomes more of a conscious choice than it was before, and that's okay.
And they cheat a lot more than most people realize.
Who did you think they were up to that moment? Descendants of angels?
She's gonna cheat if she wants. If you sense it, just leave.
That, and cheaters never stop cheating. Sure, maybe 1% of the time they change their ways. But if someone cheats, it's best to end the relationship to spare yourself any future pain.
This is sadly very, very true. People act like you can just walk outside and find a new partner. Just go get a social hobby, bro. There are tons of being around equals, women who I want to be in a long-term relationship with, or who are even available for that sort of thing.
I'm almost 30 and still wish I could go back and give my best friend at the time a real chance. It's obvious to me now that I was in love with him. I think I still might be. But I was too young to know that type of connection doesn't come around very often, and too young to understand how quickly time goes by.
You don't meet that special someone. You make each other into that special someone.
Cognitive behavior therapy, winking face.
Nothing gets me going more than a girl that's into cognitive behavioral therapy.
Greater than where were you when I was horned up teen? One of the funnier quirks of humans. Women often hit their peak for drive in their 30s. Men, however, do so in their 20s, and it decreases from 30 onward.
So, I guess man at 20s and woman at 30s is a good combi.
33-year-old female here, woman facepalming, light skin tone. The last 3 guys were 35 and I out-sexed each one. One being my ex, whom I used to get frustrated with because we could have 10 times a day and it was never enough. Now I'm frustrated because I wanted 10 times and men are tapping out after the first round. Weary, be patient with us. It's our hormones that gave us and all over the place, smiling face with tear.